A salesman rings the doorbell, and little Johnny answers. Salesman, can I see your dad? Johnny, no, he's in the shower. Salesman, what about your mother? Can I see her? Johnny, nope, she's in the shower too. Salesman, do you think they'll be out soon? Johnny, doubt it. When my dad asked me for the Vaseline, I gave him super glue instead. Grandma and Grandpa agreed to take turns driving their 6-year-old granddaughter to school. Grandma took her on Monday. Grandpa took her on Tuesday. As they pulled up to the school, Grandpa smiled and asked, So, did you meet any new people on the way today? The little girl frowned. No, not a single one. Grandpa looked puzzled. Really? What do you mean? She shrugged. Yesterday, when Grandma drove me, we met all kinds of people. Grandpa laughed. Oh, like who? The little girl started counting on her fingers. Let's see, at least 4 morons, 3 blind ladies, 1 numbskull, a bunch of freaking idiots. She paused for a second, then added, and several people who apparently drive exactly like a guy named Stevie Wonder. Late one night, I decided to save a few minutes by taking the shortcut through the old cemetery. Halfway down the path, 3 young women hurried over to me, looking terrified. One of them asked, Excuse us, would you mind if we walked with you? We're really scared of cemeteries at night. I smiled and said, Of course, I completely understand. We walked together for a few moments in silence. Then I casually added, I used to be afraid of walking through this cemetery at night too. The 3 women looked at me. Back when I was alive, I've never seen anyone run that fast in my life. It's 10 p.m. when the phone rings in Dr. Stein's house. It's Dr. Gold, says his wife, passing him the phone. I do hope it's not another emergency. Dr. Stein takes the phone and says, Hi, what's up? Don't worry, everything's okay, replies Dr. Gold. It's just that I'm at home with Dr. Lewis and Dr. Koziner. We're having a little game of poker, and we're short 1 player, so we thought you might like to come over and join us. Sure. Yes, of course, replies Dr. Stein, putting on a serious voice. I'm leaving right now. And he puts down the phone. What's happened? His wife asks with a worried look. It's very serious, Dr. Stein replies. They've already called 3 doctors. One night, there were 3 female fugitives escaping from jail. One was blonde, one was brunette, and the other was a redhead. They had the police hot on their trail, and quickly thinking, the brunette points out an old, abandoned factory perfect for hiding in. When all 3 were inside, the redhead, quickly thinking, said they should all hide in old potato sacks in the corner, as they could hear the police approaching the factory. They all got in their little potato sacks, and barely a minute later the police came crashing through the door. They looked at the sacks and said, Maybe they are hiding in these. The officer kicks the redhead's sack, and she makes whimpering noises. Just puppies in that sack. The officer kicks the brunette's sack, and she makes mewing noises. Just kittens in that sack, he says. He finally kicks the blonde sack, and he hears, Potatoes, potatoes. An older couple wake up in the morning, and the husband looks over at the woman and says, Wow, you wouldn't believe the dream I had. And the woman replied, Yes, go on, tell me. So the husband told her, I had a dream that you left me after 20 years of being married. So the wife says, Oh, it sounds more like a nightmare. The husband says, No, I am sure it was a dream. An old man walked into the bank and stood in the queue. When it was his turn, he handed his bank card to a bank teller and said, I would like to withdraw 10 pounds. The teller told him, For withdrawals less than 100 pounds, please use the ATM. The old man wanted to know the reason for this. The teller returned his bank card and told him, These are the bank's rules, and rules are rules. Now, sir, please leave if there is nothing else I can help you with. There is a queue behind you, and you will find the ATM outside. The old man remained silent for a few seconds, then handed the card back to the teller and said, Yes, can I withdraw all my money? The teller was astonished when she checked the account balance. She shook her head, leaned over, and whispered, But sir, you have 80,000 pounds in your account, and the bank doesn't have that much cash currently. Could you make an appointment and come back tomorrow? The old man then asked, "How much can I withdraw today?" The teller told him any amount up to 5,000 pounds. "Well, better give me 5,000 pounds just now." The teller then handed it very friendly and respectfully to him. The old man put 10 pounds in his wallet and stood for a couple of seconds before asking the teller to deposit 4,990 pounds back into his account. After being married for 44 years, a man took a careful look at his wife one day and said, "Darling, 44 years ago we had a cheap apartment, a cheap car, slept on a sofa bed, and watched a 10-inch black and white TV, but I got to sleep every night with a hot 25-year-old girl. Now I have a $750,000 home, a $45,000 car, a nice big bed and plasma screen TV, but I'm sleeping with a 65-year-old woman. It seems to me that you're not holding up your side of things. My wife is a very reasonable woman. She told me to go out and find a hot 25-year-old gal, and she would make sure that I would once again be living in a cheap apartment, driving a cheap car, sleeping on a sofa bed, and watching a 10-inch black and white TV. Aren't older women great? They really know how to solve your midlife crisis." A husband and wife were visiting a farm one afternoon, walking around with the farm manager as he showed them the animals. They stopped near a field just as a large bull was mating with a cow. The wife watched for a moment, then turned to the farm manager with curiosity. "Tell me," she asked, "how many times a day does a bull usually mate?" The farm manager smiled and replied, "Oh, a strong bull like that can do it 6 times a day." The wife immediately turned to her husband, raised an eyebrow, and said, "You see." Her husband didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked at the farm manager and asked, "Wait a minute, do you mean 6 times a day with the same cow?" The manager quickly shook his head. No, he said, "with different cows every day." The husband smiled, turned to his wife, and said, "You see." A young man's truck breaks down in rural Georgia, right next to a farm. After trying and failing to fix his truck, he decides to ask the farmer if he can spend the night at his house. The farmer reluctantly agrees, saying, "The only room I have available is across from my 18-year-old daughter's room. I don't want to see you trying anything." As the farmer leads the young man to the available room, the young man catches a glimpse of the most beautiful girl he has ever seen. The farmer notices this and says, "I'm going to put eggs outside your room tonight, and if I see any broken ones, I'm going to kill you." The young man tries to go to sleep, but the farmer's daughter beckons him over, and he can't resist. She gives him the best night of his life, and he ends up staying in her room until 5 a.m. He asks the daughter, "When does your father wake up?" She replies, 6 a.m. He scrambles to fix the eggs he broke, supergluing them seamlessly and cleaning up the mess and hopping into bed right before the farmer comes into the room. The farmer sees the unbroken eggs and is impressed with the young man, so he treats the young man to breakfast. He grabs a few eggs off the floor and prepares them for breakfast, cracking them against a pan. Unfortunately, all 4 eggs are empty, since by random chance the farmer chose only broken eggs to cook. The farmer, enraged, grabs his shotgun and screams red-faced at the top of his lungs, "God damn it! That damn rooster is using rubbers again.